So, hi folks, Mike Haley 7 here. It didn't see me for quite a little while there because my bike was in the shop again. So, remember that problem I had with the check engine light coming on? Well, it happened again, as you know, and I finally did bring it in. And they took a look at it and they said, oh, it's because the fuel injectors, both front and rear cylinder, were locked in the full open position. So that's why the engine was running rich. So they had to they had to put new fuel injectors in there and also re-dyno run the thing to make sure everything is working properly. And so that took, let me see, I brought it in two Saturdays ago, so basically took them 10 days, maybe 11 days to do it. 11 days to fix my motorcycle. Can you believe that? That sucks. But they fixed it. You know, you got to understand that they are short-staffed. They've had 2 deaths and 1 major injury, so they're missing people, and change in ownership, so they're short of people. That's all I know. And so that's probably why it takes longer than usual, whatever. Plus, they had to wait for parts to be shipped. You know, the fuel injectors had to be shipped, so. I'm just happy that I'm on my bike and riding again. And motovlogging. So far, everything seems pretty good. This is my shakedown cruise of the new fuel injectors. Hopefully, everything will go well. I have my hog membership active. I have my extended warranty active. It cost me $50 to get the fuel injectors replaced. So I think I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. So let's do a topic, shall we? I'm going to talk about the changing face of wisdom. I know, I just put you to sleep, right? I'll give you the scenario that made me think of this. A couple of people that at my job, whom I love and greatly esteem, are retiring. Unbelievable, unbelievable. The jerks on this road. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this idiot. Look at this guy. What the hell's he doing? Oh my God. Anyway, all right. So, a couple of retirees, upcoming retirees, and we're having a meeting, and I'm talking about revising things and changing things, and they're going on about how between them they have 100 years of experience, and they've developed materials and tests and worksheets and stuff over the last 30-something years, each one of them, and how they, you know, when we revise the curriculum, we should do it off of what they did, kind of thing, or use it greatly, because they're crestfallen, I guess you could say, that all of their stuff is not going to be used. They're afraid it's not going to be used by us because they've developed it. And so 2 things occurred to me when they said that. Number one is personal. I have developed a bunch of stuff over the years. I've been teaching now for 28 years. 24 formally, and 4 years on top of that voluntarily. And so I've developed handouts and tests and all kinds of stuff, lesson plans to enhance my teaching, whatever, da-da-da. And I would never think that anybody, when I was younger I did, but I would never now think that anybody could make use of what I've created. Because what I created was basically for me. And it works well with me because it was developed by my brain and my teaching style, and so it works great with me. But I don't think anybody else could pick up my handouts and suddenly be able to teach based on my handouts. Because I didn't design it for everybody, I designed it for me. Now there are some things that I imagine that people could benefit from, but for the most part I don't assume that what I've created is gold and so everybody should be doing it. It just doesn't occur to me that way. That's the personal side. The second thing is, with technology changing the way it has, a lot of the stuff that I developed I don't use anymore because we're in a digital world now. A lot of the exercises that go with the books are online, and the students pay for that as part of their textbook, and so if you don't use it, now they're going to complain that you're wasting their money. And we're required to use an online shell, kind of like a digital presence of the class, and there's discussion board and tests and homework assignments and all kinds of stuff, and you can use all kinds of programs to develop these things. You can use video creation technology, graphic design. There's all kinds of stuff now that people are using. And I've made use of a little bit of it, but nowhere near as much as some of my younger colleagues. And so the stuff that I've developed is not only personally unique to me and my teaching style, but also irrelevant now. And these poor people who are now, getting ready to retire, thinking, oh, these younger teachers can benefit from all the stuff that I've developed. Not really. A, because they're not going to understand what your perspective was when you made the stuff, and B, it's irrelevant now because everything is technology, and the stuff you created is all on paper. And I'm talking like some of these people go back to the mimeograph days. So this stuff is just not useful. So this means a lot of the things that I am going to develop over time between now and my retirement, if I make it that far, what will happen when I go to retire, when I'm 65 or whatever, however old I am? Will I be aggravated if somebody doesn't use the stuff that I think they should use? I hope not. One of the things I've kind of learned over time is that nothing is permanent. When I was younger, I used to believe in permanence. And I've seen so many changes in my short little period of time that I don't believe in permanence anymore. It's gone for me. What the hell is going on over here? Watch out there. Watch out there. People are doing goofy things. Nothing is permanent, and you can't do anything about it. And a lot of the things are better than they used to be. I don't want a mimeograph anymore. I don't want a photocopy anymore. I create it on the computer. I save it on the computer. I pass it out to the students on the computer. If they want to print it out, it's on them. But a lot of them now have iPads and whatever things, and so they're using their computers to read the stuff that I created on my computer. So really, there's no need for paper anymore. We live in a digital world now. And so let's say I create digital documents using Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint. Maybe by the time I retire, all that stuff will be made obsolete. Nobody will be reading anymore. They'll be watching, everything will be on videos. It'll be all videos or audios. I don't know. Maybe it'll be downloaded directly into people's heads. And this is where old people become old people. Oh, back in my day, you had to study. Back in my day, we used to write with our hands. Those days are fast receding into the horizon behind us. For better or for worse. It's just that's the way it's happening. So I'm not going to hold on to things and turn into a really old person, I guess, mentally. And say, oh, these young people today, I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to try to benefit as much as I can from the new stuff. And if I can somehow make the old stuff work in the now or in the future now, I will. And if I can't, then I'll adapt. For example, a lot of teachers now are using video technology. They're making little video lessons with graphics and I mean, if you go to YouTube, you'll find a lot of people using that kind of stuff now. And the benefit is, you know, you do it once and then you're done and you can show it and show it and show it. The thing I don't like about that stuff is every class is different. Every group of students is different. So the way you teach it one way with one group of students, you might not teach it again with a different group. They're learning styles or their backgrounds, their attitudes. There's all kinds of things that go into it, and you can usually tell just by looking at them if they understand or not, or if they care or not. And so sometimes I might use more of a scientific approach to things, and sometimes I might use a more humorous approach to things. I suppose the way around that would be you just make different videos for the different kind of styles, and then you can show the students all of them. But I personally, see, here's where I'm an old person. I still believe in face-to-face interaction. I think people should be in the classroom. You should be able to see them and talk to them and hear them. I gotta do this. I forgot to put my vents. Anyway, that's my take on things. Change is a-coming. You can't do anything about it. Adapt or die. And don't get all upset when the stuff you work so hard on is irrelevant. Because it will be. Eventually, everything that you hold dear will become irrelevant. Except for maybe love. People still love. That goes across all the generations. But, I mean, picture, like, the guy back in the 1700s who was an absolute expert on farming. You put him in today's environment, he's useless. Or somebody who is in weaving. You put him in today's environment, you know, an 1800s person who was an expert in the weaving of stuff, and that's irrelevant now. Or like my grandfather. My grandfather was an expert on cranes. He could put them together and take them apart with his eyes closed. The man was amazing. Nowadays, everything's all hydraulics and computers and thumb toggles. He would be completely out of his element. I'm sure he could learn fast because he was very smart, but all of the wisdom and knowledge that he had is useless now because the stuff isn't designed that way anymore. It'd be like becoming an expert on black and white TVs. Great, you're an expert on something that nobody uses. So, anyway, we're gonna get a lot of hate on this video. You young pup, you don't know what you're talking about. Back in my day, we didn't even have legs. We were just stumps. We just had stumps. We didn't have food. We had to suck the lint off the carpet. We were lint-sucking stumps, I tell you. I just stole that from a stand-up comic. Anyway, this is Mike Kelly 7. I'll talk to you later.